In the late 1990s, a teenage girl from Louisiana didn't just enter the music industry, she redefined it. Britney Spears wasn't simply a pop star, she became a cultural earthquake. Her face was everywhere, her voice unavoidable, her influence unmatched. For an entire generation, Britney represented youth, joy, rebellion, and possibility. She was the pop princess, crowned by fame before she was old enough to fully understand its cost. But behind the bright lights, chart-topping hits, and global adoration, a much darker story was quietly forming, one that would eventually play out in public, painfully and relentlessly. Before we begin, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Stories like Britney's aren't just celebrity gossip. They are warnings about fame, power, control, and what happens when the world watches someone break instead of helping them heal. This is the full story of Britney Spears, from pop royalty to public breakdown, and the system that failed her. The rise of a pop icon. Britney Spears didn't rise slowly, she exploded. When Baby One More Time was released in 1998, it wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural reset. At just 16 years old, Britney became one of the most recognizable people on earth almost overnight. Her music dominated radio, her videos ruled MTV, and her image was marketed everywhere, from magazines to billboards to television screens across the globe. She wasn't just selling songs, she was selling an idea of innocence mixed with edge, carefully crafted by an industry that knew exactly how to profit from youth. Britney worked relentlessly. Tours, interviews, award shows, studio sessions, her life became a non-stop cycle of performance. While other teenagers worried about school dances, Britney was carrying the weight of an entire industry on her shoulders. The world saw perfection. What it didn't see was exhaustion. Fame at an impossible speed. The speed of Britney's fame was unnatural. There was no time to grow, no room to fail, and no space to be human. Every move she made was photographed, criticized, and debated. Her body, her relationships, her personality, all became public property. Instead of being protected, Britney was commodified. Interviews asked inappropriate questions. Media outlets sexualized her while simultaneously punishing her for it. She was expected to be pure, flawless, grateful, and endlessly available. Any deviation from that image was treated as betrayal. At the same time, she became the primary financial engine for her family and management. The pressure wasn't just emotional, it was structural. Too many people depended on her success for her to ever stop. The media turns. As Britney entered adulthood, the tone changed. The same media that built her up began tearing her apart. Her romantic relationships became public obsession, especially her highly scrutinized breakup with Justin Timberlake. Suddenly, Britney wasn't America's sweetheart anymore. She was the villain in her own story. Tabloids painted her as unstable. Late-night jokes mocked her. Paparazzi followed her relentlessly, surrounding her cars, chasing her into bathrooms, screaming questions at her face. There was no off switch, no safe place. This wasn't journalism, it was public hunting, motherhood under a microscope. When Britney became a mother, the pressure intensified. Instead of being given privacy, she was judged more harshly than ever. Every parenting decision was criticized. Every emotional moment was framed as evidence that she was unfit. Motherhood, which should have been grounding, became another battleground. The world didn't see a young woman trying to balance fame, trauma, and responsibility. It saw a spectacle. And then came the breaking point. The public breakdown. In 2007, Britney Spears' struggles became impossible to ignore. Paparazzi captured moments that would be replayed endlessly. Her shaving her head, emotional outbursts, moments of visible distress. These images were consumed not with concern, but with fascination and ridicule. Instead of asking what's wrong, the world asked, what's next? This was not a breakdown in isolation. It was the result of years of relentless pressure, loss of control, exhaustion, and emotional trauma. But rather than offering support, the system responded with force. The conservatorship begins. In 2008, Britney Spears was placed under a legal conservatorship, a court arrangement designed for individuals deemed unable to manage their own lives. Control over her finances, career, and personal decisions was handed to others. What shocked many was not just that the conservatorship happened, but that it lasted for 13 years. During this time, Britney continued to work. She released albums, performed sold-out shows, and generated millions of dollars. To the public, this raised an obvious question. How could someone be incapable of managing their life, yet capable of sustaining a global career? The answer lay in control. Working without freedom. Under the conservatorship, Britney had little say over her own body, money, or future. Court documents and later testimony revealed restrictions that stunned the world, from financial limitations to personal autonomy. While she performed on stage, she lacked freedom off it. Her labor continued, but her voice was silenced. The image of the crazy pop star became a convenient justification for removing her agency, and for years the public accepted it. The Free Britney movement. What changed everything was awareness. Fans began noticing inconsistencies. Why was Britney still working if she was truly unwell? Why was she asking for help in subtle ways? Why did her life appear so controlled? The Free Britney movement grew from online whispers into a global campaign. What began as fan concern became a serious conversation about legal abuse, power dynamics, and mental health rights. For the first time in years, Britney wasn't alone. Britney speaks. In 2021, Britney addressed the court directly. Her testimony was raw, emotional, and devastating. She described feeling trapped, controlled, and ignored. She spoke of being forced to work, denied basic freedoms, and treated as less than human. The world listened. And suddenly, the narrative shifted. Britney was no longer a punchline, she was a survivor. The end of control. Later that year, the conservatorship was officially terminated. Britney regained legal control over her life after more than a decade of restriction. But freedom didn't mean instant healing. Years of trauma don't disappear with a court ruling. Recovery is messy, it's non-linear, and it doesn't happen on a schedule that satisfies public curiosity. Life after the spotlight. Since regaining her freedom, Britney has chosen a quieter, more guarded life. She speaks on her own terms when she wants to. To some, her behavior still seems confusing, but confusion is not failure. What the world is witnessing now is not a breakdown, it's a woman relearning autonomy after years of control, and that process doesn't need to look pretty. The real lesson: Britney Spears' story isn't just about one celebrity. It's about how society treats women, mental health, and fame. It's about how quickly success can turn into surveillance, and how easily control can be justified when profit is involved. She didn't fall because she was weak. She fell because the system was brutal. Britney Spears gave the world music, joy, and moments that defined an era. In return, she was scrutinized, controlled, and nearly erased as a person. Today, her story stands as a warning and a call for empathy. If this story changed how you see fame, mental health, or celebrity culture, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Do you think the world owes Britney an apology, or has it already moved on too fast? Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next deep dive.